So the debate is going to start now. So what I'm going to ask you to do is first, each of you introduce yourselves, please. Name like what you're from, like a little bit of your background, and what you're running for, and what's your platform. And then we're going to ask the audience for some questions. All right, without further ado, we might as well start with you.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tayar Paradella, but please call me Ty. I'm a fifth-year PhD candidate in the Department of History, and I'm running for the Vice President, Academic and University Affairs. My goal in running for this position is to strengthen existing systems and mechanisms within the GSS and also establishing new ones. And I'm basically focusing on the issues of delivery of programs and services. And I'm running under two themes, basically, continuity and consistency. And I decided to use these themes to frame my campaign because of my experience of student service here at the University of British Columbia. I was president of the History Graduate Student Association when the sexual assault incident exploded in our department in 2015. And I've witnessed how my colleagues really pushed hard for policies and programs to address the sexual assault issue. And I don't want their efforts to go to waste. And so that's why I'm running, because I want to ensure the continuity and consistency of this initiative as well as other initiatives within GSS, because I think that even though we're here only for a couple of years, we can have long-lasting impact to the lives of future generations of graduate students. I'll be happy to, thank you. I'll be happy to talk about the details later on. Thank you, Brendan.
Very good.
Thank you very much. I'm Ashanti. I'm also running for the VP academic position like my friend. And to give you some information about my background, I had a pretty good experience as a faculty member, as a coordinator, as a commit service liaison officer. And after working for quite a few years, then I came here to UBC to do my PhD in Education and Studies department. And now I just got my candidacy. I'm on the data collection stage. It seems that I have pretty good time to give back to the community, because to tell you frankly, I'm here by a scholarship, so I'm not paying anything. So it just happened to me like, what if I give back? Because I'm always receiving, I'm getting my tuition paid, I'm living here with peace and respect and everything, right? So I decided that maybe some of the time that I have, if I spend it like this, it is worth doing it. That's the reason why I'm here. Regarding my goals in my participation in GSS, first of all, I feel that there is something that we didn't give due consideration, like I said it last time. For example, if we take the sexual assault issue, I read somewhere that from 2004 to 2014, there was only one sexual assault case that was reported and dealt with at UBC in 10 years period of time, and this is huge. That means, in a sense, we are not giving it due consideration. And in contrast to this reality, the issue of sexual assault is affecting people, students who are at the multiple intersection of disadvantages, like women, disabled, the LGBTQ community, and so on and so forth. So we have to really work hard on this. Another thing that I'm concerned about is, in fact, as you all know, especially if you are a graduate student, is the financial situation of students is really very important issue that we have to consider. Last but not the least, because we are always saying that we are international campus, we are international communities, and in order to learn from the experience of everyone and to thrive in a kind of intercultural and multicultural context, then we have to make sure that everybody is included and everybody is encouraged to participate in the education and awareness process. So I am also interested to make sure that indigenous students, graduate students, and Aboriginal students are all included in the process. So I will try to achieve all this working with all of you, and it is a collaborative effort, even though I am here just to run for that position. So I look forward to work with you all. Thank you very much.
Before I go on, I'd like to remind attendees, just please remember, of course, to focus on your platform and specifically why you think you are electable in your opening statements. Thank you. Without further ado, let's move on.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
So I am Karan Dhillon, and I am from the School of Journalism, studying Masters there. And I'm just 6 months old in Canada because I arrived in September last year. And I would say my experience has been very mixed. I had a very great experience from the Graduate Student Association, which is in my school. My seniors were super supportive. They were really nice. Like they helped us with everything, settle down, finding home, academic problems. But at the same time, I had a hard time mixing up with the other grad students from different faculties. So my vision for the next 1 year would be increasing the student engagement from all the faculties, and also I want to stress on the student well-being. There are certain issues which are very specific to the graduate students, like for example, one of the issues is that a lot of grad students complain that they want a better deal for the AMS GSS dental and health plan, because the expectations of their grads are different, and for grad students the situation is totally different. And so I want to work on these issues which affect the grad students directly. And and in the past 6 months I have been associated as a counselor with the GSS. I have been a member of HR committee, and I have also been the interim VP students. Currently, I am the VP student at GSS, and I have helped to organize a graduate student association dinner, where we started a new communication with GSAs by bringing them to a platform and discussing with them the expectations with the GSS. And yeah, I think we got a very positive feedback, and we are looking forward to a very engaging future in the terms of there will be more exchange of ideas, and there will be more exchange of friendships. I think I want to make this UBC experience memorable for each and every guest student.
Hello, my name is Kenna Murray, and I'm from the Department of History, where I'm currently doing my master's. But I also spent 5 years of my undergrad here in the honors history program. First of all, I'd like to apologize for any lack of coherency on my part. I currently am not feeling super great and had to drag myself here, so my apologies to you. I am running mostly because I think my long experience at UBC kind of has given me an opportunity to become aware of the institution of UBC and its students. I realized that there's a difference between graduate students and undergraduate students, but my 6 months in grad school already has given me an opportunity to talk with grad students and kind of understand the problems facing them. One thing I would really like to focus on, should I be elected, would be sort of advocacy on behalf of graduate students for issues that I personally have experienced at UBC, especially concerning UBC's response to sort of mental health issues. I don't know if anyone else has tried to engage with the university over these sorts of issues, but the response is not leaves much to be desired, and I know a lot of people, both in the AMS and the GSS, feel the same way, and continuing to work with the AMS to strengthen these programs is definitely a goal of mine. I feel that knowing these the institutions of UBC as I do, I feel like I definitely have sort of an edge in being able to communicate and advocate on behalf of business.
For your students, it would be really helpful if everyone, when you're introducing yourselves, could state what position you're running for.
I'm sorry, and I'm running for VP External Affairs.
Yes, please remember that. And try to bring towards the beginning when you say your name. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. So, hi everybody. My name is Philip Imani, and I'm running for the VP External Operations. And I am here to say that my platform is based on two things: change and inclusivity. one of the things that I would want to change in my 1 year in office is the communication that is there between the GSS and the students that we represent. I feel there is a big gap in the communication. And those communications gaps do not help students in getting their funding. Because I realize that as an international student, there is so much that needs to be funded. Especially students do not get enough funding with the help of, let me say, the GSS and all that. So my one of my objectives would be like to advocate for more funding, for more projects to be funded through the GSS to the students that need to be, that is like the UBC student, graduate students. And this one will be done with the inclusion of each and every student coming on the table and making the decision. UBC might not have so much money to fund all the students. And it's at that point that the office of the external will be, if I go to the office, make sure that I create good relationships with other people, other stakeholders, other government, provincial, local, and even the city and other university student bodies, so that they can avail the money or the funding to the needy students. Before coming to UBC, I was in Kenya, where I was a head teacher. Sure, yeah. So yeah, I've been a head teacher in Kenya for more than 10 years. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Keski Nomusuku. I'm a master's student of the Public Policy and Global Affairs program. I'm currently the Director of Student Development in the program. I'm a counselor of GSS and also serve on 2 committees, the Executive Oversight Committee and also a rep of GSS at AMS. Being with GSS gave me a fair idea of the problems that GSS was having, but I had to also have a consultation with the executives to better appreciate and have a full picture of the problem. And coming from a perspective of a human resource manager who has worked for 4 years, I thought it wise to put my experiences to bear in helping bridge the gap between GSS and students. The problem definition in our case is the gap between students. So the task that I see is to reignite the interest of students in the activities of GSS. How am I going to do that? I propose 3 actions, which I call the 3 C's. The first is communication. There's a seeming communication gap between GSS and students. GSS has two options: to work through the various GSOs and AOs to reach students. And also as a VP students, I have the opportunity to give students a direct opportunity to send emails, ask questions, query me on issues, so that when I can't face the answers, I can pass it through the executive committee to council, especially when the decisions are related to finances. But I will give students the opportunity to communicate with me directly, and I'll also assist students in solving some of the problems. And we also realize that there are several resources available to students, but because that communication link is not so good, the GSOs and AOs, they do not even know all those resources. I make it a personal commitment to research through the university documents as far as I can, and also to brief the AOs and the GSOs on all these so that they can also relate to students. Secondly is community. GSS is an amalgamation of several associations. We have people coming from several backgrounds. Currently speaking, when you come to council, I'm the only colored person in council, a council of 63 people. And I believe that we need more inclusivity. We need to bring more people on board. Okay? We need more people from the minority groupings so that their voices can also be represented. What can I do as a VP student to reach out to some of these minority groupings and also invite them into the fray so that they can also make their points known? Another issue is with concerns that are raised as sexual assault, awareness, and all that. There are several opportunities on campus. You go to Brook Hall, there are several opportunities. As a BP student, I'll make the arrangements with the GSOs and AOs so that within the organized workshops in the departments, we can arrange for these facilities that the university has already provided for to be made available to students through maybe an hour workshops and all that. And that can help students in dealing with the pressure that comes as a result of the academic stuff that we do. And the last one is coordination. Mostly, yeah, this will be the last one. Coordination. The programs that we organize as an association must adopt a bottom-up approach so that the programs can meet the needs of graduate students. Graduate students attend programs because they have the need to meet. And some of these programs, I believe that in consultation with the GSOs and the AOs, we'll be able to tailor programs that meet the needs of the various graduate students in their departments. And I end by saying that with my experience in GSS and being the Director of Student Affairs, being a Human Resource Manager for 4 years, and currently with my practice as a public policy student, I believe I can leverage my experiences to help bridge the gap between GSS and students. And already I've done that in my department, and I think I can do it on a bigger scale. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I'm Arezu Alimzadeh. I'm first year PhD student at Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. I'm running for VP students. Basically, the role of VP students is to establish events that help the well-being of the students. So, a little bit history of me. I came to Canada 7 years ago, and I landed on Newfoundland, Memorial University of Newfoundland, and I studied my master's there. And then I moved to Vancouver for work, and also after that for PhD. So I faced a lot of challenges as a graduate student, and I get a help from different organizations in university, and I appreciate, and that's giving me appreciation and motivation that I want to help to its advancement. So my three main focus is going to be with, my plan is to, with collaboration with GSOs, to work in three different areas. One is mental health, one is career development, and the other one is human rights. So basically, I will set up for human rights section. I will set up human rights workshops and let the student know about what the human rights is, what the violation is, and make them aware that helps them to understand if they are treated fair or not. As well as also for advocacy part, I also will contact different departments, and I'm sure a lot of departments don't have that. That like if students face some discrimination or some harassment, where at that department they have to go. And I will advocate for department that they don't have, a student don't have any place for complaining, that eventually they get it and they have a safe place to go and make a study procedure and protect themselves. About the career development, I'm thinking of establishing the networking events, because we all learn during our graduate study the techniques that we need for a job, but we don't learn about. Well, at the end, we need people to know until we get the job. So networking events should be very focused on that, and that helps the student and release the stress that they know at least someone that maybe that help them later on to get the job, as well as like, for example, during the academic, the workshop will be set up for how to apply for scholarship, and that way maybe it helps them to get the scholarship and also like help them with finances. And about the mental health, I will set up the events like sports, like sport. Like I'm pretty sure like a lot of departments don't have it, but it's a very simple thing. Like we in my master we had like baseball league, and it was very like not official. Like, sure, yeah. So So like music nights, movie night, those things that helps the people come out and release their stress and help their wellness, as well as I will advocate that make sure the department and institute, they all have eventually the place that the student goes for consulting if they facing anything, especially off-campus people. Like on campus there are centers, but off campus especially there's more restriction on that part. And I am now working as a training council at the Children's Hospital Research Institute, and in a teamwork manner we already set up some fun events and career development events. So, thank you for
Hi, I'm Miranda Huron. I'm running for Senate, GSS Senate. I've been in the Senate position for the last year. I'm also just finishing up my first year as a PhD student in education. My focus is on Indigenous education policy. And so policy is really what attracted me to Senate. Part of the reason why I'm running again is because we're currently in a sundown here with Senate, so there's a changeover happening with all senators. Especially within student representation. So I'd like to create continuity from one transitional period to another. I'm also starting an ad hoc committee for student diversity, and so as I'm just starting that up, I'd like to be able to continue that on into next year, so that we can go forward with other students in the future. And areas that I'm interested in are especially equity and diversity. I sit on the Vice President's Advisory Committee for Equity and Diversity here on campus, and I like to promote that through everything I do. Being an Anishinaabe woman, I have a special interest in Indigenous rights here on campus, and I recognize that I'm an honored guest on Musqueam territory and have been for over 20 years now. Having been here on campus as an undergraduate and then going away and coming back and taking my master's degree, I like to really, I feel like I've got a lot of connection with what it is to be a student at all levels. And so when I sit on the various committees of Senate, I like to keep my ears open to things that affect me at all stages, and especially now as a grad student and a mature student, I can see the differences that affect students who are coming straight from high school and have gone through their undergrad into their masters and PhDs, as well as coming from a perspective of somebody who's gone out after work and is coming in as a grad student with a family and all the stresses there. So when I come into the meetings, I come in with both eyes and I look at the various policies and issues coming up.
Hi everybody, my name is Francisco Gallegos. First of all, I'm very thankful for being an uninvited guest in Coastal territory, especially Musqueam land. I've been living here for about 15 years. I came from Ecuador. And I did most of my university career, my Bachelor of Arts and a Master in Public Policy at SFU. And I recently started a Master in Education here at UBC. I want to bring the experience of over 10, 12 years working in higher education sector, working with a student as a coordinator in many positions, working also with staff members and faculty. I had the opportunity to advise at some point the Vice President of External in SFU, and I've had the privilege to know a little bit of the work of the university. Being a senator is something that I find a great opportunity to bring some of the voices, especially underrepresented voices, to a government body that is basically made for us, for students, to bring our concerns about the academic life and how can we change that. When I mentioned about, and I'm glad that I'll be working with Miranda, the fact that there is a lot of intersectionality issues with the students. We are not only mature students, we are also LGBTQ. Some of us will have disabilities, some others will have like a different background coming from a different country, and it's important to understand those voices. And I'm glad that everybody here, actually we have a very diverse set of candidates. And my goal will be to work with whoever gets elected and to learn from them what they're listening from the GSS voice, and talk to graduate students and bring those voices to Senate. Again, it's sometimes it's a little bit unfortunate that we don't have in this students, we don't have the time to voice those concerns. We're here to study, we are working really hard, sometimes we don't worry about what's happening in governance issues, but that's why I think we have to take the responsibility to be that voice and to work with everybody. So, as I said, I'm hoping to bring my experience knowing the organizations, knowing what a university is, and identifying those voices so they can be heard. And again, I'm really glad that Miranda is running against, because she will be a little bit of the continuity, and I hope to bring a little bit more of like the new energy, and who knows, maybe in the future also continuity. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So at this point, I'm going to open up the floor to questions from the audience.
Can we just start with who's running for which position? I missed a few.
Would you mind?
Oh, no.
introducing yourselves?
I'm Tayard Baradella. Please call me Ty. I'm running for VP Academic and University Affairs.
I'm Ashinafi. I'm also running for VP Academic and University Affairs.
I'm Karan, and I'm running for president.
I'm Hannah, and I'm running for VP External.
I'm Philip. I'm running for the VP exam.
I'm Keskin and I'm running for VP Students.
I'm Arisa and I'm running for VP Students.
Miranda, Senator.
I'm Francisco Senator.
Any questions?
I want to ask Kai, you mentioned that your factors on continuity and consistency. I want to ask what existing, I mean, you mentioned the sexual assault policy, but what other policies and processes exist now that you want, make sure that there's continuity. And at the same time, I'm curious to know at which table is the VP for university and academic affairs invited to, right? Which meetings within the university are you invited to so that you could participate in these policies?
Let me approach that by actually mentioning something specific. And I had a wonderful conversation with a counselor just a few hours ago, and we talked about the initiative that she and a couple of counselors started, which is supervisory excellence. And this really dedicated and committed group of counselors work with the graduate council, the faculty of graduate and postgraduate studies. They've worked with senators as well. Miranda has been an active voice in that discussion. And there are plans. They have plans of speaking to representatives of the faculty association. They've spoken with the Center for Learning and Technology Center. So that's definitely one of the initiatives that I want to continue. And not just to continue, but also to weave in the DNA of the GSS, because some of the members of this committee, some of them are graduating, right? So passing the torch, passing the baton becomes really crucial for this initiative to succeed. And as VP, if given the chance to be the VP Academic and University Affairs, that's something that I want to ensure that would continue even after my term.
I have a question for Andrew Tonin for VP Academic and possibly President. Do you think that the current funding provided by the GSS for research, which is kind of outside existing professor-led channels, do you think that alternative stream of research provided right now the funding is sufficient, or whether you would work to increase it in the coming office?
Can you repeat the question?
So funding for research within the university, my understanding is the GSS does provide some funding for research. Do you think the current amount is sufficient, or is it something that you would work to increase?
Yeah, it's something that I really want to see in the GSS, because that's the way, it's one more way to connect with the graduate community. They can look upon the society as something that gives back to them. So I really want to see that happen in the year. But looking at the current financial situation, in the past few years we have been in a deficit. We have a deficit budget. So I really don't think that is possible right now. But I think if the referendum goes through, which is also going through, the referendum is being voted during the elections, so there is a chance.
I think I'm from BPC, I don't have any knowledge of the GSS providing funding for research, but I know emergency fund. Emergency fund, if a student is unable to accomplish his or her studies in the final years of PhD, then there is probably 6,000 or some amount of funds will be provided for students on condition that that is accepted by the GSS office. My idea is the emergency funding is really good that it is there in place, but we need to have need-based funding as well parallel to that. And after, if the referendum is going well through, then we need to have this in parallel, and we have to work on it. That's my idea.
I want to add here that for emergency fund, so far the things that I have known for 4 months, no one applies for it. There are a lot of students who go broke during their studies, but the bureaucracy that is involved in getting that fund, it doesn't encourage you to apply for that funding. So that's one thing we can work on as well to make it easily accessible, or just transform it to some kind of research funding instead.
I'm also not aware that there's a funding mechanism for research, but what I will do as VP Academic and University Affairs would be to coordinate the different mechanisms for graduate students to apply for research grants. I come from a department and we have really good support in grant writing, in how to position yourself to get some grants, and I want to, with the help of Hannah, also from my department, to really have that a university-wide approach to applying for a research grant and really sharing the knowledge and processes to allow us to apply for research grants. I'm aware of the differences in how departments treat their graduate students. Some departments are richer than others, and we can basically address that inequality of access to resources by making it university-wide.
Okay, that was this question. Are you just going to know whether to try to concisely state your points, to be clear, state your points when answering questions? Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a question for the candidates for VP students. So my name is Yassine. I'm from Forest. We've been a counselor for a couple of years. One of the things I've noticed is that we have a science-heavy council. So I'm curious if the VP student candidates have one of your portfolio priorities should be to try and engage with the GSAs and also to try and get broader representation on the council. So I'm curious if either of you have any thoughts on how to get more North Enders onto council and how to sort of promote the development of new GSAs in those departments, because generally they're lacking compared to science and engineering.
Thank you very much. As a counselor, I think I share your sentiment. And I know I've seen it and I've lived it for these months being in council. My little research shows that there are about over 50 graduate students associations, organizations that are not affiliated organizations to the GSS. And with them, I personally believe that we can make them affiliated organizations, and we can also have ways around it as a team, and then report back to council about modalities in balancing the act, how we can get other people from other departments to also get in and balance the science-based, council to make sure equity more or less is enhanced. But at the moment, I can't give you an A or a B answer because it's going to be a decision that as a team, as an executive body, we have to take. Though I wish that happens, and I'm for it. I will also make sure I consult these other GSOs and try to convince them to be affiliate organizations, and then the necessary processes can be followed through.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I understood your question right, so I'm gonna repeat it. So your concern is that there are GSOs, but they are not affiliated with GSS, and how we can make them affiliated, or generally there are departments that they have no GSOs. What's your
More the latter. A lot of the arts humanities departments don't have well-established GSAs, and probably because of that, they aren't participating. They don't send counselors as well. There's two separate things. There's the counselor side, sending a representative, and there's also getting them to organize within. Both of those are part of the mandate of your portfolio.
So this is, I learn new from you right now. So my vision and my report gonna be that, because at the beginning I generally said that I'm gonna contact the department to see what, like for example, facilities they have or not. So I will contact that department administrations, or maybe we, from the GSO we advocate and set up a event like a workshop and talk to them and encourage the department and the students through the workshop and information session that is very necessary for them to establish a GSO within them and make themselves involved and make their voice involved, and how important it is, how it will help them to, how having GSAs is going to help improve their needs and generally the department.
Can I try to answer that as well?
Yeah.
I will be very brief about that. Since I am at the interim VP, I'm here only for like 1 month. I've been here just 1 month. I think I have really, I agree with you that sciences have more presence in GSS, but a few departments are even more active. I think there is a lack of awareness amongst the different schools and departments. When I read the bylaw, it says that even the particular programs can apply for GSA membership with GSS. They can form their own GSAs, but a lot of people don't even know. So that's something that comes into the communication. We need to personally meet some people. Even in the recent GSA dinner, I personally invited 2 people from different schools who didn't even have an idea that they can form GSA. And they have separate programs in the same building. So that was a new experience for them, and they are very positive that they will try to form a new GSA. But they're not confident because you can say the number of students are not, the strength of students is not impressive there, so they're not confident. But here comes the duty of counselors as well, that each and every counselor who is aware of the bylaws is to share with all the students, the friends as well, and try to get as many people on board.
Yeah, this is a very good one. I think we can also, coming from the School of Public Policy, this is how our bylaw is designed. The Director of Students Development is the chosen rep at GSS. So in helping some of these GSS in developing their bylaws, we can also advise them to make the position specific, so that once a person picks up to contest for that position, once a person is chosen for a particular portfolio, as part of his or his duties, that person would have to represent that department at GSS. Then the process can be followed through in council.